Welcome, Anime Lately podcast listeners and YouTube podcast watchers, to a special episode of the Anime Lately podcast. I'm your host, Sam the Manga Man, and here with me are Marble Takus, our boy, the Game Master, the Super Saiyan, the Director of Anime, Mr. King of Games himself, Ray Apollo. Our next bro, you know him, you love him, the legend, the demon, lover of Trigon, Dr. Stone, and One Piece, Senor Legendivash, Miguel Parra. Our last bro, Takus, the CEO of Careful for Spoilers Podcast Network, the founder of No Anime No Life, lover of movies, the great and talented James Barnes. How you all doing? How you all feeling right now?
Oh, feeling good.
I've been better.
I am feeling great. As obviously you guys could see from the title and from the thumbnail, we're reviewing My Hero Academia. We all came out from the movie not that long ago in each separate time, and it's fucking an experience. Definitely seeing it with a crowd, with people, seeing it in a theater. It definitely elevates the movie experience for some people, or like for James, it definitely kind of destroys your movie experience for some others people.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, you guys know what we're here for. We're doing a special episode, and we are reviewing the new My Hero Academia movie, Heroes Rising. And this will be a spoilers video. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, we highly suggest you guys to go watch the movie, maybe 5 times, if that's even enough. But anyway, guys, if you're gonna if you didn't watch the movie, go watch it now.
So
Pay your ticket.
leave right
it's worth
now.
the money.
So leave right now. If
Come
you
back
haven't
to
watched
listen
it,
to us.
Yes.
Listen to us. We are
And-
the Gospels.
before I want to say
Bibles,
one
maybe.
thing is that what Sam is saying is spoilers, because you guys should follow our Twitter at @animated_, because that's where we have polls sometimes for you guys to decide what type of reviews, what type of content you guys want. And the poll one saying a full spoiler coverage, and that's what we're doing. So that's why we're leading into this. So your polls, your votes, your things matter. So other than that, take it away, Sam.
So not everybody at once. Who wants to go first? Let's go with our first thoughts and expectations before watching this movie. If we didn't really have anything, that's fine.
So usually I lead up first when it comes to the podcast and everything. So I guess I will start the conversation for this. Honestly, I'll like me and Sam, me and James said in the group chat, I was waiting for no expectations. I want to go full blind. I didn't really watch much of the trailers, much of the behind the scenes, or much of the posters. I was trying to stay away and go in with open dots, see what my expectations to come in and be kind of lower. I didn't want to. Throughout the film, I was waiting for something to happen, but it did not happen. I was really disappointed and sad about that.
James? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yes, those were my expectations about that, and I'm very happy I lead into that way for the film. So yeah.
Yeah, like Miguel said, like I pretty much did the same thing. I didn't go in with any expectations. I didn't have any theories. I saw the first trailer and I refused to watch any other trailers. I didn't want to see any visuals. I wanted to stay away from anything and just go in completely blind as possible. And I'm glad I did. I have thoughts about a lot of things and I wanted to save it for the podcast. So once we get to the actual review, I'll tell you guys some interesting stuff that happened to me tonight.
Right?
Same. I really just wanted to go in and enjoy a My Hero movie. And that's exactly what happened. I watched the trailers and enjoyed them. And I was like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to watch this movie and enjoy it. And that's exactly what I did. So here we are.
Oh, only my expectation was better than the first movie, consistent animation, and has better look than the TV series animation episode. And that's basically it. That's the only thing I have, which it did not disappoint. This movie did not disappoint in any of its animation styles. And we are so happy about that. We knew how to put their money and investments into it. And that's amazing. So this is our non-spoilers. This is just us telling you to go watch it now.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's go straight into our real spoilers review.
The one thing that shocked me the most was how much smoke animation has improved over the years. The smoke animation has really, really grown in a lot of ways, because I have really really seen it grown a lot with Attack on Titan, because when they transform into the Titan's form, a lot of smoke comes out. With this animation from 9, with his lightning power and with his
The
whole power
clouds,
with the
yeah.
clouds and the weathering, was freaking awesome. How it gets into his animation mixed with CG, of how much it has improved throughout the years. And I have to say, I really loved it in this movie. It was really well done with that. That's one thing that really shocked me the most with its style of animation standpoint of that end.
So I have a story. I have a
Okay.
story to tell you guys.
Was
I've been
this
waiting.
Was this a story about the Facebook thing that we saw?
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
please. I want to know about this. So this is what the bad experience is.
Yeah. So this was literally the worst movie going experience of my entire life.
That's unfortunate.
Damn.
So I got to the theater, and every time I walk into the theater, I'm like, please don't let there be an asshole in my seat. So I get to my seat, and then there's an asshole and his kid in my seats. And he's like, well, I just wanted to sit closer to my friends. Would you mind moving to other seats? And it's like, well, there's an empty seat next to him. There's a guy sitting in the next seat, and then there's an empty seat. So what you're saying is you want me to sit separately from my girlfriend so that you can sit next to your friends. No, get the fuck out of my chair and sit where you need to sit. Maybe you and your friends need to make better decisions. So that was terrible. And then I had to wait 40 minutes before I could see the movie because there were technical difficulties and they kept playing a Chevy commercial for 40 minutes.
Oh, no.
man.
Wow.
No one came in to apologize or say anything until 30 minutes have passed. And by that point, I was already extremely fucking pissed off. And then the movie begins, and then I realize it's the fucking dub.
Which was actually great. The dub was phenomenal.
So this was the perfect storm of a shit box of an experience for me.
Wow. And what's funny is that me and you discussed that how much Ray would love that you watched the dub, and look what happened, James.
I love the
Wow.
dub because I got to see the dub. Like it was easy for my wife to enjoy. It.
Wow. So
Yeah,
we have
okay.
2 sub watchers and then 2 dub for the movie. All right. So that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so getting into the movie itself, I liked it. A lot of the emotion and everything that I get from anime does not come through with the dub, so it ruined that part of it for me. But I think this film does an incredible job of showing what heroes really do. They don't always fight villains. They have to save people. They help people. They just help people because that's what good people do. And they're able to use their quirks to do even more things to help people. And then because it's a film, of course, there has to be a bad guy who I am going to call All for One version 2.
Which technically, yeah.
Which he pretty much is. But I thought the movie was fine. I didn't think it was great. There's nothing that I really hated besides suffering through the dub. I liked it, and I'll get into more a little bit later.
Let's just talk about this now. It's dub versus sub right now, real quick. How was Hawk's dub voice? Because I don't know, I didn't hear.
I thought it was actually. I will tell you right now, the dub cast was all on their A game. The anime has been delayed because I'm pretty sure they were working on this. That is
very subjective.
They all came with their A game. If you don't watch the dub in the anime. And so this is actually, they did a very good job.
I wanted to kill
what they've
myself.
been doing. I mean, I'm glad you didn't. And that is a take of all of its own, which you can have, and I don't care. But they all were fantastic. They did a very good job with this dub.
With the dub scenes that I have seen on Twitter and social media from AK Funimation, if you ever want some sponsors, we'll probably take you. Funimation dub from Hawks looks good. The clips I've seen, and
he's good.
And
the
plus
dub voice was
Endeavor,
good for him.
and plus Endeavor looked great as well. I will just start off by the beginning scene of saying that the beginning scene of Endeavor using his actual best move from what we've seen in the manga actually be done in the anime movie. It's like, wow, didn't expect that. It was
second best move.
Yes. And also to actually see it, Dobby versus Endeavor before the scene that's supposed to end the season 4. Wow. That's
Even
just
though the
something.
Dobby is a twice clone, it's
Yes,
still
but
impressive.
still, that was
It's
still
still
impressive. To still have that amount of power is like, wow, that's freaking
Twice
awesome.
is too strong. I keep telling y'all, he is the most powerful asset that they have.
And that's a
Twice
mega
is so
spoiler.
strong.
And that's a manga spoiler, and they don't like people don't even notice that.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now. This has so many manga spoilers that
Yes.
they just did
So
not
many.
talk about.
So
There's so
many.
many. But the thing is, unless somebody points it out to you, you don't directly know that it's a spoiler.
Yeah, so
It's
guys,
just
if you are non-manga readers, then definitely be tippy-toe with what we're saying with audience.
I'm not going to directly tie anything that I say to manga spoilers.
Yes. Unless should we just mention the doctor then, or should we just skip that as well?
What do you mean? We all know we everybody knows about him at this point, even in the show. Like even
but anime watchers don't know, cannot put the pieces together of who he
that's
really
okay.
is.
They know who the doctor is.
Okay. Trying to make it short because
you've seen his face at this point multiple times.
That's very true. James, did you know who that doctor is?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I have to make it sure that, putting the pieces because, guys, James is technically right now not cut up to the manga. He's like a good 40, 50 chapters behind right now.
But the show has established the doctor as a character.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That's,
but yeah, with what happened with what Sam said about twice the clones and everything about Dobby and plus Endeavor, that was a really nice, about showing the showcase of the League of Villains, how strong they've got it, but also against the heroes. And also, those were some interesting heroes we just met for the first time, like with the guns and everything. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I was glad to see Rocklock again. Like I was like, yeah good. They're getting more use out of him because I'm like, he's a good character. So
yeah, yes,
he was. The beginning chase was like, I was like, is this the Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, that's the same thought that I had too.
Ted said that in the movie.
Literally, you see some car flipping. The truck literally pushed that car over. Literally, you have someone literally get on top of the truck.
I wasn't complaining. I was like, I love the Fast and the Furious. Now it's in My Hero Academia, so hey, why not?
In the CG animation too, it really wasn't so bad for that. Like the first part of the scene too.
But then I was confused. So was 9 a twice clone inside a truck as well? Or
no.
Or
He
did 9
real.
escape and he walked all the mountain by himself to catch up with his people? Okay, cool. Because I was confused by that scene. Like, was that just a diversion, or was him trying to meet up with his friends?
No, that wasn't a diversion. That was really him because they would not
Hawks,
place a.
Hawks says that something escapes from this pod, so it was
okay
for sure.
And they thought it was like a new Nomu kind of monster thing, but
which I mean, technically,
technically he is.
And which I do agree with what Ray said, that watching dub in the theater with other people, I think is a better experience since you don't have to read the subtitles.
You just get to watch it.
And
you just got to enjoy it.
Yeah, it takes more time for yourself. So I feel like that makes more sense because while I was watching, I was having a hard time to watch the movie, but also read the subtitles at the same time. So it was a hard time doing both.
Like I really enjoy just being able to because I love the sub. I do. I love it, but it's being able to just watch the movie and like take it all in with my eyeballs was fantastic. Like,
agree.
It was for me the best way to watch it the first time. So
I agree because this was a full-on experience. They did a great job in the beginning shot, and then we go straight into Class 1A's island journey. They're not internship, but it was not a vacation, but I forgot what they called it. It was like a.
It was like
they started a hero agency like on the island.
Yeah, it was like basically it was like a agency kind of thing, which was cool. At least these kids learn what's real hero work. No other pro heroes will be able to help them. You have to figure everything yourself, and all the responsibilities bear with you, which should really happen when you're grown up adults and you have to realize you're gonna be bearing all these responsibilities in a much bigger scale. At least this one, where to an island where there's not much villains at all, but it has all of these community service, the town, the village, the people that's in there, where they need everyday work and everyday help. That's still part of the hero's job, just like James says. Not everything is all about saving people, fighting bad guys, and all that stuff. It's also doing like the community service, helping people move, fix trucks, literally finding missing kids and sisters and all that stuff like that. It's even if it's a joke, they still need to take it seriously as if it's real hero journey
and
and stuff like
and
that.
they did a great job with all those type of scenes and characters having the moment. Because that's one thing I love about this movie more than the first one, because each character was useful. Even though the jokes about Bakugou said that you guys are the extras, why are you guys still losing? I mean, I love that line a lot. I don't know how did they say in the sub, I mean in the dub, but when Bakugou went to save them, and while those other class 1A students were in trouble, and Bakugo said that, I'm like, it felt so real because you
Oh,
said this was,
Bakugo clowned them the whole movie, and it was hilarious.
Yes.
it was freaking amazing, and I love that scene a lot because it felt so real, because the girl of Who's Invincible barely did shit throughout the film, but she was actually doing something throughout the film. Like, you felt like she wasn't doing much, but to those townspeople, they felt like she did something for them. So I found that really beautiful. Like, those little small details really was impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody had a function, which was nice. Like they worked together as a team. This class works together the best as a group. That's what we've learned. Yeah. So like, and that was the point of the movie, which I really enjoy, because you get these other anime where the team, they may have a team, but the MC is still like the reason why everything happens. But like literally half of this would not have happened had they not worked together. Like they would have.
That's why I like that there was a villain team. Every group of the class got to take down a villain. Like that. Well, he's not just a wolf. He's mixed in with all kind of other shit.
He's a chimera.
He's a chimera.
Chimera was one of the best original movie characters I think we've gotten in anime, and I think as long as I've been watching anime, he was the best. I was like, please put him in the regular manga / anime, because he's better than almost all the other villains you've created, Horikoshi. Almost all of them.
Great.
And he was probably a better villain against Nine. Like, he was probably a better villain than Nine, because this dude was literally taking out every single one of them, and he
was a good accompanying character to Nine. Like, he was really good. Like, I wish he had got to fight with Nine instead of the other chick. Like, I wish he had been there, because that fight would get Chimera and that guy versus the other group.
Because then their tag team would have been way too OP. I mean,
but it would have been so good, because they would have had to make our boys more OP, which would have been amazing.
But it was insane. Like, my dude was literally taking them out, and he just kept having where do you come up with fire breath? You come up with
he's a chimera.
It's just, he has so much ability, was just pretty insane, and plus his character design. And I love the thing he said to the guy that has a tail. I forget his name right now, but I love what he said is that have you been bullied throughout your life because of the way you look? And it's very reasonable. It's because the way he looks like a beast covers his quirk. But then,
in the dub he roasted him. He was like, "Hey, do you blame your parents because you're so ugly?"
Yeah. So the dub just said it like that, but the sub really explained it very well. Like, how do you feel like getting bullied because of your own quirk, because of the way you look? And you can relate to that, and I find that very beautiful. Like, those type of lines are so small, but yet so impactful and beautiful.
Most definitely.
But for sure, with Nine's goal to be the top of the food chain, to only have the strong rule over the weak, it's a typical villain tyranny kind of dictator move. Just the same. It's the same goal as Shigaraki, but there could only be one person on top.
Less interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been more interesting or more complex. Have a well thought out plan, but I kind of agree with you. The Chimera had a better villain side than Nine, especially with more of the dialogue side.
I think he was more outspoken than Nine.
Agreed.
Nine was speaking through his actions. This Chimera was doing both, which I really appreciated, because he brought a humor too.
I only like Nine because of his powers. I mean, him as a person, he's very one note. He is every villain that has ever been created.
And I was okay with that, because he had a purpose, and that was to drive the plot. Like, he's a throwaway. He's a movie character, which I get. I understand that.
And plus, speaking, I want to give props to the guy of who was the tape guy.
Cero did great. Cero did great.
Cero was amazing. He did great. Back up with a
Aoyama. Aoyama in this movie legitimately that is a glow up. If you tell like that boy now can use his quirk.
It's a sparkle up.
No, glow up is fine. I know what you were trying to do, but
I know.
he has learned how to use that quirk. I was so impressed. I was like, this is what I want. You know who I was most disappointed in? Of all, Todoroki. I am so disappointed.
I agree with you there.
I agree because I felt like he could have used his heat more. He used his ice 80% of the time. I'm like,
he still wants to be number one on his own terms. He's still battling with that. Like he's accepted his father, but he's still do it his way.
Deku and Bakugou have left him in the dust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
like that kid. Yeah. I was like, you used to be like top 3, and now you're like top 5.
Yeah,
and I was like, what happened?
but who also did great is the guy that has the arms and eyes and mouths and those guys. I forgot his name on top of my head.
I know you're talking about.
Yes,
yeah.
He
the
did
guy
great
that's
too.
protecting the kids. Yeah,
he did great.
He didn't give up. He kept like all these side characters.
Every single person in Class 1A goes plus ultra.
Every
single one.
My girl Ochako, oh my god, that girl.
Every single one of them.
Mineta did his best as he can, but he did go plus ultra. No, he did. It's a good strategy. It was a good strategy. It was a good plan to have all the rocks stick together so that he doesn't move. But
he also did a good job.
He did a good job. He tried.
As much as I hate Mineta and I don't like his annoying ass, but he did good though. So I have to give credit for him.
Everybody did their own job, did their own support, and I give them props for that. The main goal, their plan was to tire out 9 because we know that he has a time limit. As long as you run the clock, you win. However, they didn't expect him having some more of these purple chemical drug-induced steroids that was going into him. But hey, it was a great effort. At least they took down the hair dude, Slice or Cut, whatever her name was.
She was forgettable so quick.
She was forgettable. But
the girl with the hair was really forgettable.
It definitely made Tokoyami shine pretty bright.
Given much to do.
Exactly. She was very cool. Like her quirk was awesome.
Yeah,
I
honestly think it takes a lot for her to control her quirk, and I think it was just a wasted opportunity.
I agree. Like they had some, like I don't want to say they wasted these quirks in this movie, but they had some really cool quirks. The quirks in this movie for the villains, I love that there's like we've seen now the Horikoshi has a lot more just kind of up there that we're like paying attention to, and the quirks that he gave these villains were amazing. So I'm like, well, what else does he have in store for, the show and the manga? Because I'm like, that means we can get some really cool stuff going forward.
We kind of already know like he's capable of even the most almost what you think as a useless quirk can be the most dangerous quirk in the world. I mean, Marino, we didn't expect his quirk to be able to just going through walls and floors and coming back up with much stronger abilities. And yet he could have been one of the greatest heroes in the future in the world. So he has a lot of creativity when it comes to any kinds of quirks. I will definitely have to say all these villains, the Slice actually did a really good job helping Tsukiyomi look good. Like using his going rage mode with his shadow for one.
Oh, Shadow Tokoyami. Okay.
Oh yeah, Tokoyami. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was great. Well, shock about who also played a good partner with him.
Momo?
It was that Mina. Thank you. I was like, what is that as a girl name? Mina. That was a good partner with him. Like that was different, and then them working together. And I like the collaboration with them because we really see this type of dual partners. Each of these people play with different roles with different classmates because some of the powers don't really work together. But if you work in the right section, with acid, dark shadow in a cave, actually it's a smart way to use it. It's like a bat, if you really think about it, because bats have acid and everything. So that's pretty smart.
I think it was more that her quirk is more suited for an environment that can be destroyed because her quirk is very destructive.
Yes, it
Let's be
is.
real.
I mean, she was able to pretty much melt the
Her hair.
spikes in the roof to use those as weapons. Like,
Mhm.
and then
And
she melted her hair. Yeah.
so quick, which was unexpected because she just threw acid to her hair, and then her whole hair was gone. I'm like, oh, so just that gone that fast?
Yeah,
Cool.
acid.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
acid.
I know, but still, I expected her hair to last
I'm
longer.
pretty sure the
or
best
hard.
way to take the villain down was literally to make the villain bald, make her not have any hair at all, even though she was able to shoot needles from her head.
I don't think we want to see that. Saying that's kind of creepy. A
I
bald
mean,
lady
like,
right now
how
in
else
the
you were
anime.
gonna take her down? No, I'm just saying this is the only way you take
Oh,
her
yeah.
down when her
You have to put some right
weapon
about
is
that.
her hair. Remove the hair, then she can't do anything.
She kind of remind me of the girl from the
Medusa.
Inhumans. Yes, thank you. Inhumans from Marvel, Medusa. Like that's what her quirk reminds me of. Which I kind of see a lot of this movie taking a lot of quirks powers from Marvel using it in a cool way. So I like the how
I
with
mean,
Hero.
there's only so much you can do in terms of power. I wouldn't
Mhm.
say it's pulling directly from
Oh
Marvel.
no, it's
Exactly.
not. But
Just
some of the ideas, some of the quirks.
Superpowers in general.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to say, yeah, superpowers in general, because I mean,
There's just there's only so much you can do.
I will say that you've seen a lot more. I'd say you've seen a lot more creative uses of powers and quirks in this show. Like,
Oh yeah. So let's jump to the climax, or do we have anything to discuss more about
And I
the
was
story
just gonna
aspect?
say let's talk about the third act because
The third
that's really where it kicks into gear.
mhm.
So this third act from the first movie, we had All Might and Deku jumping to the Speed Force, but now we have Bakugou going Super Saiyan yellow with Rengoku hair with Demon Slayer, and then we have Deku going all green hair, was freaking amazing. Like
I
all
mean,
of them using
we
the
already
one
got
for all.
the fire and wind animation from Nine himself when he made that tornado of fire thing,
That was freaking insane.
That was cool, yeah.
and then so you already get that Rengoku vibe already. But for sure, leading up to that moment, the whole bond where Deku and Bakugo are in desperate situation when Deku had to think, what do I have to do? What's the plan to able to win this fight?
When I saw that happening, the first thing I thought of was race theory. I'm like, oh, so race theory
Race
is about to
theory.
happen. Is that right
I
now
fucking hated it.
Deku's quirk was passing into
And then they
Bakugo.
retconned how you transfer one for all.
Yeah.
Or the quirk is evolving as he said it would in a
Yeah.
way that they did not expect.
True.
Is that because it passed by blood and blood touch, not hair, which I thought that's how it been
Well,
passing down.
DNA. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
DNA.
DNA.
Blood.
So I'm like, okay, cool. But then it temporarily passed, which was kind of reminding me of what Naruto did in the Great Ninja War, passing his Nine Tails Beast to everybody to share. So
Mhm.
it's something what I reminded me of that. So he technically didn't give him the one for all quirk. He just
He gave him a power up.
a power up, and that's what it felt like.
That worked. That part worked for me.
Oh, I love that, and that's what I figured when I saw it happening. I was like, that's what this seems like. He's sharing the quirk, the power of the quirk, with him, so that way they can overcome this
Agreed.
moment. Because the quirk is now fighting for self-preservation. It's not just Deku, but also the quirk, which I love.
Because of what Nine tried to do it during the middle of the movie, take the quirk in the beginning, but it said no, not here, not right now. So that's when I feel like what Ray just said, the quirk was fighting back to stay with Deku, or it was declining it because.
Well, in that situation, he couldn't do it because it was too many powers. He didn't have enough room.
Well, that and
too.
just the rules of the quirk, it can't be taken without the user wanted to give it willingly.
Right.
So while he said, "Oh, I couldn't take it because there was too many," the quirk didn't want him to take it. So
Yeah, like no, what's with Deku? So that was freaking awesome.
But
also
the thing is that he also revealed the moment where he says like, I can't take it because there's too many quirks, and the limit of what Nine can hold is 8 quirks, but using 9 quirks. So,
and that kind of made me mad because
I just think that was his understanding of what he thought at the time.
Yeah,
because I still don't think
correct because he can't take the power; it has to be given willingly. That is correct.
That kind of made me mad because I wanted to see Black Whip. He has a freaking costume of the said costume of what it is, and that made me mad. That made me furious.
He didn't use it because he doesn't know how to use it.
True, but he could have. There was many opportunities that he could have tried to use Black Whip.
He is much more mobile with just what he
The full
knows
crawl.
right now with full cowling. So why use
Yeah.
something that he's not as adept with?
Yeah, but
Is my guess. You
true.
know?
You could be 100% right. It's just that
That's just a guess. I'm like, that's just kind of my interpretation of it. He's much better with full cowling at this point.
And what speaking about the climax first part where of how they got beat up, I didn't expect them to get that beat up that badly, where they was technically incapacitated with broken ribs and broken bones.
I definitely expected that.
Oh
I
yeah,
expected that.
they're fighting a one for all clone. Like he beat the shit out of them.
And this is just like, I would say, like a small of what the real One for All can really do.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And like this
In this
One
prime,
for All,
in this prime,
this
yeah.
One for All 2.0 literally just had to freshly absorb other new hero quirks to be able to use for his own. And well, from what we already know, his original quirk is the lightning.
Yeah, the lightning. What kind of
quirk
figure?
ability?
Which was killing him, and that's why he didn't use it there. Like that's the
Yeah.
quirk that was killing him. But can we talk for a second? The one quirk that was really overpowered,
The
and
shield thing?
that I am very scared that they have in their possession. It is
The
literally
lightning?
the quirk analyzing eyes. That
Oh yeah,
is
pretty
not okay. He can look at you and know what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if they have that and they actively have somebody scouting the heroes and just using that all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty much a scouter. He can see who
Yes.
has a quirk.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a scouter
Tells
that Ray
him-
has. The scouter
It tells him what the quirk is. Like,
I was like, yo, that's amazing, but that's also OP as hell.
But Ray, you might be the only one that to understand this. But when you saw the sea dragon thing coming out, didn't you think of Noel's power?
I
when you
did.
said- yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, that is.
I was like, that
literally
looks
sea
like
dragon.
that looks like a sea dragon, but also mixed with the blue eyes white dragon.
I was thinking that
it
too.
did look like. The
I was
Blue Eyes
actually
White
thinking
Dragon.
xenomorph from those like mouth looking thingies too.
Almost, yeah. Which
I don't know that reference.
that quirk kind of came out of nowhere. Which I was like, that's a weird one, but all right, I see.
But
what you're
it's
doing
so
here.
It's
strong.
useful.
It's
It was
useful.
very. He has 2 extra arms.
It's
So,
useful
yeah.
because if you think about it, that's what broke the ribs first for Deku and Baku because it broke the ribs
Yeah.
so hard. And
Oh
I'm
no,
like,
yeah,
damn.
that move fucked them up. Like it really got them. And I was like, well, this ain't looking good.
I gotta
It is-
give props to the little boy too, because his quirk was one of the best ones. It's a healer and it's an enhancer. He's a buff kind of quirk.
That's what I say. It was a buff.
It's cellular regeneration. He can manipulate cells. That's the key thing.
Right?
Once he masters how to use
That's
that,
gonna be a crazy quirk.
can you imagine what you can do to yourself if
That's
you
what I
can
was saying.
And
He's
I was
gonna be a
actually- this is
nutty hero.
calibrate your
This is what I
cells
was
to
thinking
give you a
after like
quirk,
watching the movies. Like this boy can actually help Deku keep going 100% if he wanted to. Right now at this moment, if he
So-
wanted to.
Not to really
I
jump to the
mean-
end of the scene of the film, but it's technically with what Deku said to the kid, it's technically what All Might said
Yeah.
to Deku in the
You can
first.
become a
That's
hero.
exactly what he told him.
And that's what I love about Hori and his freaking writing to parallel what he said to All Might to Deku to what Deku said to Baku and the kid right there at the ship, and that was freaking beautiful. Like you can become a hero as well, and you can be the greatest hero out there, and that's amazing because this kid of what James and Rachel said, cells regeneration. What you could do with your cells is what you could really amplify to anything. Just what you
Cellular
can imagine.
manipulation. Like
So-
And it's insane, but also to speak about the kids were not annoying. The kids were amazing, and
I love the kids.
Oh yeah, they were
gave
great.
A great perspective of the hero's world, but also on themselves in an island, and it's amazing. So I
Mhm.
love it.
So I want to add something to what James said earlier. You know, it's hero's job to protect people, and but it's also their, and to help them and work with them. But it's also their job to inspire people,
Yeah,
and that's what I love that. That's Deku, and sometimes I understand what people are like. Oh man, Deku's voice is so crazy, but when he's talking as a hero and you're looking at him and you're watching him, I was like, yo, that's a hero,
That's how- I mean,
And
that's what helped Koda and that's what helped Eri. Like
Mhm,
they were
mhm.
inspired by seeing Deku.
and
Mhm.
that's why I see what we spoke about. I'm not sure in our reviews or on podcast that I think Baku will be the number one hero in the end. but Deku will be the inspiration of what All Might is, and not be the number
It
one, but
will
he'll
not happen.
Deku is going to have like 8 quirks. So
no,
no.
but I'm saying that
Deku is 9.
well, technically, yeah, but he's not. I'm not saying that he'll be the number one hero, but he don't really care about. He cares about being the symbol of peace, of what people don't have to be fear of villains and everything. And I think Bako will be the number one hero at the end. I'm just saying that's why I see.
You can say that, but you're wrong. I'm going to tell you right now. It's the story about how Deku becomes the number one hero in the world.
Yeah, they literally tell you that. And you have to look at it from this perspective too. It's pretty much the All Might Endeavor thing. It's like All Might is technically more of a public face. That's what the symbol of peace needs to be. It can evolve and it should evolve, but that's what it needs to be. That's what makes people more comfortable. And I feel like although Bakugou can evolve into more of a hero that everyone loves, because we've seen the little girl loves him, but Deku more embodies what that symbol of peace will be. So I think they will be either on par with each other or 1 and 2. But I think Deku will be number 1.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where it's like that is the thing that Bakugou is, I think, he's actually the most jealous about Deku. Like, he's very jealous of that. He won't ever say it, but he's very jealous of that. But he knows his path and what his strength is, and that's what he leans into. So
I would also like going in more. The fight, it literally was emotional. I actually was like almost in tears. And that score, in the moment when when Deku passed the quirk, passed the one for all quirk to Bakugou. All the score, that's the sad score music that's throws in the playground.
That's one thing.
In this fight, in this environment, and then because this might be the last time Deku is going to be using the one for all quirk, and this is the no better place to have a no sound of the fight, just the score and the fight between Nine and Bakugou and Deku together. It was beautiful. It was a gorgeous fight throughout the entire time. Great animation. Deku was a blue lightning bolt, while Bakugou was like the infernal magma. He's using his enhanced quirk of using explosive on the floor and like pushed the giant burning rock at him as if it was like a meteor striking at him.
That was freaking amazing. I love it because of what you just said, Sam, of the movie being silent, but all you hear is the score and the whole action scenes moving forward, the whole animation going forward, but you hear the score and it's just continue rising and rising. The whole score of All Might You, that song just made me feel emotional. I didn't cry. I was definitely in the borderline of about to cry of how emotional it was, and that scene was just amazing. I was seeing of a Deku which was trying to figure out what to do next. He said, I have to sacrifice my quirk. And him seeing Oh My while he's there laying on the floor, and Baku said, Oh My, I had to sacrifice it. Like, I never have once regret giving you my quirk, my man. And that was just beautiful. Just beautiful scenes of between a mentor and his student. It's just amazing of how this fight could just go on and just made it impactful and amazing.
So my one of my favorite moments of I believe it was the beginning, the first part of that fight against Nine is when what happens? So Bakugou jumps up into the air, he catches Deku, they spin together, and then Deku uses One for All to kick the shit tries to kick Nine. It was,
by the way, the St. Louis Smash. I see you. I appreciated that.
Plus, also, I don't know of how the line was in dub, but the line is sub saying, I had to load myself to fight and team up with Deku. Line was amazing. He's saying that I had to go down to my level to actually fight with Deku as a team up, and that was freaking amazing. To actually see his team up was awesome.
It was that. I mean, and it just shows you how powerful they literally can be together. Like regular level criminals do not stand a chance against the two of them. Period. When they're working together.
And it's so
Goodness
true.
gracious.
And it's what my man All Might said. If you two can actually work together, you guys could do wonders. And that's freaking amazing. Like, because of this movie, their character and their rivalry has really went up for me of how much I love them as a rival. It's just amazing. And how much they could do as a team up because of what James just said. That turn just it literally got me up from a chair and screamed and like, let's go and continue. And their teamwork just kept going back and forth, and they kept never giving up and moving forward. The way the small time where they grabbed the dude's feet and just said, you cannot grab the kids, and just kept not giving up was amazing.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Another.
I loved it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say this is the best way they could have brought Bakugou forward as a character was with this movie. Because I mean, there's no way you left that movie saying, Bakugou. Like Bakugou is a hero. He has grown. You see his growth in this movie. Like he grows like right in front of you. Like yes, he has been a little asshole for a long time, but the kid has grown. He is more than that now. He's not just that bully anymore. And he respects Deku. We've all seen it.
Dude, I was literally about to say the same thing. Like, you get so much development from Bakugou. Like, if you weren't on board with him before in the anime, I think you are now, because you see more of how he's just a brilliant strategist. He is someone that's always looking around, because that spin move, that was definitely his idea.
Oh, absolutely.
He does the flashbang when the girl creates the big illusion of the monster, and he sees that there's no shadow. Like he's always thinking 10 steps ahead of everything,
and that's why they work so well together.
Exactly. Deku will be able to feed off of that, and he can feed off of Deku. It's like they have this perfect rivalry. It's amazing.
It's one of those things where it's like
great chemistry.
There was a weird like disconnect, because before Deku had been training his mind for so long, and he had a great mind, an incredible tactical mind, but Bakugou had both. He had an incredible quirk that he had trained, but he's also very smart. But Deku, all he had was this. But now that gap is closing, because Deku's starting to get a hang of his quirk, and he can also keep up with how Bakugou thinks and how fast he thinks. And so, yes, that makes him an incredible team. I love that.
I want to ask, like, what do you guys thoughts of Bakugou being able, like, his handle on the one for all quirk?
I'm not mad about it. It's more about in the moment, like what happened in the moment. It makes sense that he handled it for so little, for so fast. Like I would understand that he just started to whip out 100% with no problem, but it shows the casualty to his arm. He did 100%, broke his arm. It made sense.
Both arms.
I want you to notice that he actually struggled keeping up with Deku.
He did.
He struggled keeping up with Deku using it. So like I won't say that yes, he used it well, but he like Deku had to like pull him along. Like he was struggling with it. Like it's not just a quirk.
If they were on the same level, I that would have bothered me, honestly.
Yeah,
exactly. So I was really happy. It was just so nuanced the way that they showed it. They didn't have to say anything. You could see it, and I was like, yes, thank you. like it was awesome.
It makes sense why Deku's here and you're behind him. So it makes sense that he's trying to catch up to you, and I'm fine with that. Where if they were both at the same speed like this, I'm like, okay, how does that? You just literally got the quirk. How are you trying to go back to back? No, but I'm fine with it. And at the same time, he lost consciousness, but we'll talk about that in a few where he forgot everything. But I'm fine with how much power that he got to use with explosion. Like his explosion just really went from explosion to fucking like a meteor type of level power.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It was unbelievable.
My favorite part was when they used they both used the All Might punch. They both used the All Might punch to change the weather.
Oh yeah,
the double Detroit smash. Yeah,
it's
reminiscent of when
it really was exactly.
Deku and Bakugou fought the first time inside the building. Deku did the wind pressure through the building.
It was also back when All Might saved both of them from that slime monster the very first time.
Smash too.
I was like, God, it was so good. They just paid attention.
Wasn't it like a Texas Smash? I think
that was a Texas Smash, but it was more like it was just them putting that hole into the sky. It was like that was it.
But what
just wind pressure? You do realize that
exactly.
It's
just wind pressure. It's nuts.
But then doesn't that guys get you upset with what Deku said? Say you're the best and only person I will trust this quirk with. But then at the end, he gets unconscious and forgets about him ever having a quirk, so he cannot remember the experience he felt to have the power of the guy he got inspired by and everything. Even though
he forgot.
Yeah.
Bakugou would lie about that. He absolutely would lie about that. He would say that he didn't remember anything. Absolutely.
So you think he actually remembers?
There's a chance. Like I think he left that up to interpretation on purpose. I I think
because
that
of his
Bakugo
character and personality.
yes,
Yeah,
because of
you can see
who
that.
Bakugo is, he would absolutely lie.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I wrote it off as, oh, that was just one for all,
Plot hole or
protecting
something.
itself in a way or something.
I mean, his
it was
arm is
one
still
for all.
his
Sure.
arms were still broken. I
The
mean, it's not like you
Force.
can say like, yo, how the hell did my arms get broken like
I
that?
wish he
Like,
did say that, like, how my arm broken.
But I love it anyway, and I also I love Bakugo for that because it's one of those things where he's like, yeah, I'll remember this, and it's gonna push me forward because I know how much it takes to use this quirk now, and I have even more respect for Deku because of that. But I can't tell him
See,
that.
that sounds good, and I hope that happens.
sounds
I
good.
hope
Okay.
that's real.
If that's the case, Ray, the way you're bringing it up with that
That's
theory,
just my
slash
interpretation of it.
perspective, yes. With your perspective of how you're saying it, if the way for Bakugo to see it, then I would respect him more because he's not the type of person that would say, "Yo, Deku, I like you. You're a friend." He would never say that. He would say,
no.
"Yo, shut up. Come on, let's go beat up the dude."
Keep
But
up, you damn nerd. Yes.
Yeah, he would be like that. So I do see that he would never say, "Hey, Deku, I have more respect for you because how much you have."
I know how
respect his
difficult it
powers."
is to use your quirk because he thought that he had this quirk that was, crazy to
Just
use
easy,
his
yeah.
whole life. But now he knows, now he got to experience firsthand how difficult that quirk is to use.
It is difficult. So I could understand a perspective about it. And to say about this power of how Nine versus Bakugo and Deku was and how much they had to hold their own and the animation was so good was like so freaking amazing. It was unbelievable how well and flashy. What I have to say, it's very flashy. The whole scene was very flashy. Like I felt like a lot of sparkles and like a lot of light show was happening in front of my eyes.
I've only ever been speechless for two scenes in movies in my adult memory. It was one in The Last Jedi with that light speed jump.
Okay.
Where it was just silence and it was beautiful. And
Mhm.
then this last scene of that fight where it was just quiet, but you could see everything. It was nuts. I just was like, wow. Because just the level and detail of animation is insane. It is nuts and it is gorgeous. And I can't wait to get that in my house and slow it down just a bit to see everything.
There's a lot going on.
Because there's so much happening. There's so much happening. But I loved it.
It was insane because definitely, I think it had so much symbolism within that scene as well, especially when it goes back to the flame of one for all.
Yeah, that was
and
beautiful.
Deku's mind be like, I see it. I'm imagining it slowly away. My quirk, I'm losing one for all. And then into that final end when Deku dealt the last punch, that final smash, he just sees like his flames goes out in the same speech that All Might had, like goodbye. For All Might, he says goodbye, one for all for one. But with Deku, it's like goodbye, one for all. Like thank you for your help for everything. And I think that was really a beautiful, very emotional.
It was.
And he definitely was right. I expect for every My Hero movie, there has to be at least two people with the one for all quirk. Because
oh god,
that's
I
like
hope
the
they never do that.
the thing about that is
the only other person that could ever happen to is Bakugo. That'll never happen again.
Because if they do that to if they do that to other characters, it will sound and be very, very repetitive and a story concept that will be used many times. If Bakugo used it in every movie, I wouldn't mind. It depends how it's done and executed. Executed.
That's
one time only.
Idea.
That's a one-time thing.
Terrible.
The only reason why they did that is because they literally had no other choice. They were going to die. There was nobody going to get there in time to save them. They had to do it. That's the only reason why it works for me.
And because by the next movie, they'll be even more evolved than before. They wouldn't even need to do it. But using the same trick you did before again, that's terrible writing. That would be awful.
Naruto movies.
Two things. Rasengan in all movies just with a different name. Giant Rasengan and Sharingan Rasengan. Okay. Ray, do you still think your theory of Bakugo having the quirk at the end of the series or some way will still happen?
Yes. I actually do.
Okay.
I still think that is possible.
We'll have some type of theory.
And this was a tease of it because we saw it happen, so therefore I do think that it still happened.
Okay. I have a 50-50 on that. I give that a 50-50. How
I
about you,
mean,
Sam?
we're gonna have to see that in the manga as well, because technically Hirokoshi said this was technically one of the original endings that I was gonna have for My Hero, but it's
So
okay, you can take it. I'm gonna come up with a new ending myself,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean it's gonna be too far fetched where Bakugo will use the one for all quirk
so
again.
you're
We're gonna likely
100%
see that.
on the idea, or
I
you're
would
in what
still
in what
give I would give it
percentage?
60-40. I would still say it's a good possibility that he will have the one
Okay.
for all quirk,
I
even
looked
if
at
it's
the image. I
temporarily.
looked at the images again, and that looks a lot like Bakugo. In
Me
those
too.
silhouettes, it looks a lot like Bakugo.
How about you, James? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't
What's
buy
the
it.
percentage?
I don't buy it. I think it's cool. I think it's nice to theorize, but in the end, it will be Deku, plain and
Okay.
simple.
All right. Last thing. What do you guys think about the League of Villains being involved here and there with Shigaraki, watching over Hawks and everything,
I
see what's going
mean,
on?
it makes perfect sense. It shows you why All for One chose him to lead,
Mhm.
chose him to move forward. He is very smart. He orchestrated all of this to use Nine as a test to see what they can do, what the Doctor can do to create a new All for One, or to maybe manipulate their own quirks in the League of Villains. Like, this opens the door to so many other things. Like, Nine was nothing compared to what Shigaraki is and will become. Like, as great as Deku will become, Shigaraki will be the opposite of that, the reverse.
They are going to have to grow so much if Shigaraki gets that kind of power. Which they copied his power, by the way. They have Nine's power. So when they just start casting down lightning storms, it's because they have his power. They absolutely copied it. And
And
so
I could see that from what happened with My Hero. Like a scene happened when with Deku had to face a bunch of people in the back and everything. If you guys remember, there was lightning in the back. So that means somebody has the quirk already of Nine of the lightning. So, and to actually see with what's the case about to happen with Deku and the League of Villains, like Rachel said, they need to prepare, get stronger, and good luck to y'all because some of y'all are not surviving. And I'm excited for this to see what happens with Shiggy. And also, I love the design, the red coat and everything. He looks freaking amazing. I love it. That's beautiful.
Gotta give props to Hawks again, because literally he did pretty well in his time to shine. He figured out what was going on in the island, what the kids were
Loved
in
him.
danger. He told everybody, like, we need to go to this island right away and quick.
What I really want to see
also
is
important to show you how smart and observant he is.
how does he fight? I really want to see how he fights. We haven't seen that much of that. Like, I really want to see his comeback. That's what I want to see.
We actually have seen a little bit
We
of
have
his
seen
fight.
a little bit of it.
He
Yep.
fights with his feathers, and he can manipulate and control and however he wants. He can use each feather to save one person at a time. Doesn't
Yep.
have much of a weight
Not
limit.
much. So that's what I really want to see much more of that fighting, but hope we get to that soon. But any last thoughts here, guys, about the movie, the review, thoughts, story?
I had a blast.
I had entertaining.
I love these movies.
Oh,
It
score.
is highly entertaining.
Score.
Loved it.
No, the number score.
Like
Oh,
a score, like a ratio.
I'm not gonna give it a 10, because I love this movie, but I'm still mad about Todoroki. So 9.
9.
Get it?
8.5. No, 8.5. I'm gonna stay with 8.5.
8.5 for sure. I'm a little mad if they're gonna say Bakugo really did forget, but if it's really what from Ray say,
I don't mind
8.5 is still.
That's just my interpretation.
That's just your interpretation, but still, like, I would give it like an 8.5. It was still a great movie overall. Like I said before in the beginning, great animation, consistent, much better animation than a TV show series, and it's always great and happy to see a double Detroit smash or anything like that to a fight to any movie. So it earns it.
James.
Honestly, I can't give it a grade yet. I need to see it again in sub because I'm not going to
Makes
spend
sense.
a bunch of time bashing on the dub. I just don't enjoy it for My
Makes
Hero
sense.
Academia, and I have to watch the sub to get the emotional elements that I look for
That's
when I'm
me.
watching this anime.
Same.
And until I get that, I can't give it a grade, because then when I see it again, my grade is going to completely change. It's going to be a different experience. So I can't grade it right now. I will actually be reviewing this, doing a second viewing review on the No Anime No Life podcast.
Dope.
So I'll give my grade then. But for now, can't do that.
That's the same for me. Right now it's an 8. For me, it's a solid 8. But I want to give an 8 out of 8.5 yet until I see a second viewing. But I do agree with James. For me, it's right now it's a solid 8 for sure. It's definitely entertaining. So, and hopefully you do have a better movie experience for that, James. Hopefully
I hope
you do
so
have
too.
a better one for us.
Hopefully it doesn't repeat itself.
I go to the movies a lot, and this was the worst.
So sorry about that.
Anyway, guys, can you give us your plugs, James, Bray?
James, hit it.
Yeah, you guys can follow me all over social media at C4 spoilers. On the Best One, Worst One podcast, we just did heist movies. That was a lot of fun. On the next episode, we're going to be doing buddy cop movies to continue our crime movie review series. So we're having a lot of fun with that. The next episode of the C4S podcast is going to be just talking about comics. Lola and I are going to be talking about all of the characters that are similar between DC and Marvel, and we're going to be talking about which ones came first and which one we prefer. So the next couple of episodes are going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned.
Sounds fun.
I'm excited about that. That'll be good. But hey, I while I'm listening to those episodes, I'm gonna be playing some more games over on twitch.tv. Me, Rayapollo, Rayapollo. We're finishing up Dragon Ball Z Kakarot soon. But we also have a few more hashtag ad games that we've been receiving. So we're gonna play those two and have a good time. One Punch Man is out Friday, so we'll see if we pick that up. So no, Rayapollo everywhere.
And for me, guys, don't forget to follow me at Legendary Vash everywhere, Twitter, social media. Don't forget to support us on Patreon, join our Discord server, listen to the podcast. You guys appreciate it. And also, check us out. Rate us. You guys appreciate it. 4, 5, or 10, or a 9 out of 10 if you get it.
Or plus ultra, because you love us. Thank you, guys. You can follow me at Sam the Manga Man as always. And always remember, anybody can be a hero. You can be a hero. Hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Peace.